We are live. We're live. Hello, everybody. It's a late one today. I'm just gonna make sure that this goes live until it's like until I've went live like 5 times in a row and it's actually legit. I'm gonna not be able to. Oh yeah. Okay. Sweet. Now I'm assuming there's not gonna be too many people on here live, but I have the rankings pulled up on my phone for Alberta. I just wanted to go over my thoughts, the current situation that it's in, and maybe what I'd like to see be improved, but what I kind of where I see people as well. So, Alberta right now has a ranking system. You can find it on Alberta Arm Wrestling. The way the system currently works is basically everyone's ranked. I think provincials doesn't didn't reset it this year, I don't think, but normally every provincials it sort of gets reset. Along with that, you if you beat somebody, whether it's tournament or super match, you get their rank. Am I a big fan of that? Not overly, but a lot of people have heard me talk about that a lot. Um, we do overall women's, overall men's, and then we have our masters and our open. And we don't have amateur rankings. We have a ladder league. Drew, how are you always here, man? Hello, Drew. We have a ladder league, which is for amateurs, which I enjoy. But with the pro rankings, I feel like it gets a little messed up. And I have talked about this, I guess, a few times. Drew, you're definitely going to hear me talk about this again. I'm sorry, you got to hear me say the same stuff. But I just don't think it's proper that if you beat somebody, well, even in a fluke win, and yes, there is fluke wins. That's just how it goes, guys. But it's like putting a little like parasite in something that's so well maintained. And I'm not calling people who win fluke matches parasites, but I'm using an analogy. And the reason I say that is because let's say there's a guy who's ranked, I don't know, he's ranked 20th in the super heavies. And then he goes and he pulls someone who's having a bad day. Let's say the fourth ranked guy is having a bad day, maybe hurt his elbow or something, and he beats the number fourth guy. Now he becomes ranked number fourth. It just it's weird because now the 20th guy's ranked number fourth and the number fourth guy's ranked number fifth. But the problem is some other guy who could be ranked 19th beats number four who was ranked 20, and now he drops to five and that guy moves up to four, and then the actual number fourth place guy drops down. And that's what I'm saying by like it's just, you know what I mean? It's like it doesn't fully make sense to me just because I have a hard time understanding the thought process behind that just because of how skewed the rankings get. I've proposed this several times. I would love to see this get implemented eventually, but I think it would be great if the um if you beat someone in a tournament and it is a fluke win, or you know, you look at the rankings, it's like, okay, the 20th guy beat the fourth place guy. I think that you should get to call them out to a super match. I think that should be the only repercussion from that. Why, do you ask? Because, in my opinion, beating someone in a tournament doesn't always mean you're better than them. And I think in order to be ranked above someone, you need to be better than them. That's just how I view it. I think that you should get the chance to challenge them. You know, you got to make your weight, they got to make their weight. You guys have a super match. If you beat them in that super match, you earn the rank. That's how I feel, honestly. And I'm yet to be proposed someone's yet to propose a hole in that plan to me. People seem to like it, and so I just feel like for the most part, until there's a hole proven in that, I think it's better. Would the rankings move less? Yes. Am I okay with that? Yeah. If the rankings are very valid, but they're not moving as much, I think that's a better ranking system. That's why you look at, like, let's use the NFL, for example. Every week you see NFL power rankings, power rankings are just where people think they're at on the week, where they are currently. But there's an actual NFL standings that you can Google, and that doesn't shift unless there's concrete evidence. And I think that's what we need. We need concrete evidence in order to move someone in the ranking system. You need to beat them in a super match. And that's just how I feel. But again, I've said my piece on that several times. I kind of want to talk about now. I just, you know, probably staying up till midnight or something. So I got a half hour. I want to go over who I think should be where in the rankings and kind of why. Again, I've talked about this a little bit on Through the Fingers, but I just kind of want to lay out some concrete things, I guess. So I'm looking at the supers first. I think Josh Bellin is blatantly number one. I think top five is pretty blurry. I think right now, Sean Crowther is number two. I don't think that's as blurry. But I think when you get into, Len Houghton, you have, if Caleb is a super, Sheldon Terfanenko, um, a lot of guys could be in those top five. So again, I think this is like, there's people when I look at the Alberta rankings who I don't believe are as high as they should be. And even if there's a blurry top five, it's still a lot easier to tell when people are just beating people based off of super matches. Um, Everyone comes in prepped, everyone comes in ready, everyone comes in knowing what they have to do, and I just think it's it sets up a ranking system better. I'd be fine with a power ranking, you know what I mean? Something like that too, like, oh, who's Byron Cahoon beat Len in the finals. That's crazy. He can have a super match with him he wants, but I mean, power ranking wise, he's ranked above him, but something like that. But yeah, and then left arm for the supers. I think Sean is number one right now. He beat Josh. He deserves that number one spot. Dustin Houghton doesn't pull supers anymore, but I would like to see that match. I know Sean did also beat Dustin and Hinton the last time he beat Josh. So when Sean's left is on, it's on. It's no joke. You have Greg Deneen's left, Caleb Freeborn's left, Darren Matthews left, Dustin's left. I think all those guys are in that top five range. Again, I think it's very skewered. I think it needs to be sorted out a little bit so that we can figure something out with that to get a better determined ranking. And then not only when the ranking is developed a little better and it's placed better, I also feel like it helps people line up super matches much better. Tournament wins help, of course, but also, when number two and number three, if they've been called out six times and they win every time, it's time for them to pull each other, and that's probably a fun match. It brings people in, super exciting. Now we go to 242. Another thing that I don't know, and I know Zach, I think, disagreed with me on this, but I think you get to be in one weight class. You know what I mean? If you're ranked in the 220s, I don't think you should be ranked in the 198s. If you're in the 242s, I don't think you should be in the supers. I think you should be in your weight class and in the overalls. And Alberta only does overalls to top 10. I honestly would like to see top 20 overall. I think that Alberta is a super deep province, and I think that if we had top 20, it would be very, very interesting to see who's ranked where. 242s ranked on here, Dustin Houghton is one. I do agree with this if he makes 242. I don't think he's a 242 guy right now. Same with we have Caleb Freeborn on this list. We have Curtis Mocan. Those guys bounce back and forth. Curtis drops to 220. Caleb jumps in supers. I do think actually, I think the number one and two in this class, and people may disagree with me, but just from what I've seen, I think Lee Germain and Caleb Freeborn need to have a match to determine the number one rank in this. Um, Lee feels really good right now. Caleb always feels strong. And I just think that those two guys at that weight is a really fun super match for the people. But I also think that that tells a lot in so many different ways that it's just something that needs to happen. Um, Yeah, like I said, Dustin is number one if he makes it. If he doesn't make it, I think Lee and I think Caleb right arm. Um, I think Greg Deneen would beat Lee left arm. I would like to see Greg Deneen and Caleb pull left arm for the number one spot again if Dustin isn't there. We have um Travis Robertson, I would say is number four. If Dustin's not there, Travis Robertson is number three. I don't really see anyone else on this list beating maybe Mocan at 242, but again, I think Mocan is 220. I think Travis I would go Dustin one if he's there. If he's not there, then Caleb and Lee super match right arm for one and two, and Greg Deneen and Caleb left arm for one and two. And then Lee Germain, I believe, beat Travis Robert. Well, oh yes, he injured Travis's left arm, so I'd have to put him at four and Travis at five. And then on the right arm, I would put Travis at three or four if Dustin is there, depending. After that, pretty skewered again. I think it kind of just depends on who shows up when. Jumping into the 220s. Now, obviously, these classes are a little more exciting for me right now because these are where I pull 220, 198. Joe Fox remains undisputed number one. I can't deny that. I think Victor's very close second. I would like to see him and Victor have a super match for number one. I think that's a really fun match, and I think a lot of people are curious about that. I think three to even six or seven is pretty all over the place. This is a really stacked class. Some names that come to mind for me are Hugh, Curtis Mocan, Cody Sluggett, Dale Kodik, Brent Bellamy, Colin Long, and who did I miss? Sergey as well. Quite a few guys there. I think I would personally put Mocan and Sluggett at the top of that list I just said. And I would put Sergey and Brent Bellamy near the bottom. The middle guys, I have Colin Long, not left arm, but right arm. He's a sleeper. He doesn't show up too much, but if he's 220s and he's in, like, he comes to Edmonton Club and I pull him, he's really good. I think Dale is more towards the top, and if I had to list that, I'd go Mocan, and then I would go Cody, and then I would go Dale, and then I would go Colin, and then I would go Brent, or I would go maybe Sergey and then Colin, or Sergey and Brent. Tricky list, but that's where I'm at. Some sleepers I think could show up and do damage depending on the day. I think Mike Rooney can show up and do damage. I think Jeremy Drous, Jeff Miller can show up and do damage. Oh, another 242 person I forgot, but I just seeing him on the 220 list, but he's moved, is Jonathan Mercer. I think he's got a really good hand. I think he can pose some problems in the 242s. I could see him as a 6 or 7 runner up for sure. I think some people who are coming along in the 220s are Evan Ferguson, Kyle Evanoff, but Mike Schaaf if he's 220. But yeah, that's my right arm. Left arm, Joe Fox isn't ranked. I'm gonna say Victor is at the top. Oh, you have Connor McKenzie in the 220s as well. He's one to watch for sure. He's kind of in that mix with all the people. Like I said, stacked class. Sergey's three on the left. Cody's four. I do think Cody beats Connor and Sergey. I could see Cody being ranked second on the left arm, in all honesty. Then you get Jeff Miller, Hugh, Joe. Oh, Joe is ranked. Sorry, he's just lower. You got Mocan. Yeah. Victor one, Cody two. I'd actually like to see Victor and Cody left arm. I think Victor has a long arm, good hand, poses a lot of threats to Cody. But I think Cody's got a few lanes there, that same kind of side pressure lane that Clifton had. Cody can somewhat use that in a way. Right arm's a lot more stacked than left arm in this. in my opinion. Just there's more names on the list, but a lot of good both sides. Hugh also, I forgot to mention Hugh Nutbrown. He just moved to BC, but he's on the list and he can really do some damage when he shows up and he's good. Then we go to the men's 198. This is where I'm currently ranked. Um, Number one, I think undisputedly is Eugene. I think he kind of runs his class right now, you know. Um, right nipping on his heels, we have Mason. Mason's left arm is a little bit closer to Eugene than his right arm, in my opinion. I know Mason's been having some right arm issues, but I do think that Mason's kind of nipping at the heels there. Then you have Ali ranked. We have Victor ranked here too, but Victor's 220 guy now. Then you have Scott Drosy, Chris Cornoms, I think is his name. To be completely honest, I actually really like my odds here. I think Eugene beats me. I think Mason beats me. I think Ali beats me. Victor ranked, I think he beats me. I'd like to pull Scott DeRossi. I'd like to pull Jesse Harrow. I'd like to pull Chris Comruns. Those people are all ranked above me. I think I could be top five in this, guys. My left arm's feeling really good, and I think it's getting really close. I think the top four in this class are stacked. I think there's some 98s who aren't on this list who maybe could be. But overall, I think if I continue to pull in 90 kilograms, I'm starting to knock on the top five, which is really exciting for me. I think that's awesome. But yeah, Eugene, Mason, Alley, league of their own in this for sure. They're the top of the top in this 98s. Um, Scott always feels good. Yeah. And then left and right, Eugene owns them both. Again, Mason Alley, right arm. Scott DeRossi, Jesse Harrow. I'd like to pull them guys. Jason Shaw's in this class too. If he makes it, if he's in the 220s, he's also in the mix. But in the 98s, he's also knocking on top five. I think we're both up there, and I think we're very close to each other. He pulls a little more hook than I do. I pull a little more top roll, but regardless, it's close. It's fun. Men's 176 right arm class. In first place, they have Kelly Leach. I agree with this. I think Kelly is the guy. I'll go right arm first. Jason T-Bach at second. I can agree with. I think Jason T-Bach second. Jaden Hoffer. Not sure who that is. It says Edmonton Extreme. I can't put a name to the face. And then Kyle Nelson, Roger Skouskis. Now, Lee Sates and Brad Prinz are on this list. Brad Prinz is probably a 98er now, and he's a strong 98er. He's also knocking on top five. I know I got Brad's number, but depending on the day, he's strong. If he gets me in the hook, it could be a bad day for me. But again, Lee Sates is, they got him ranked number 6 on the right arm, but I could see him being number 3 in this. I don't think he beats Jason, but I think he's knocking on the doorstep in that sense. Left arm, they have Lee second. I can also agree with that. So we got Kelly, Jason, Lee on the right arm. Then it's kind of a toss up. On the left arm, we have Kelly, Lee, and Jason. I'm assuming Lee must have beat Jason left arm, but those guys are probably back and forth. Michael Seabrook's ranked on here. Another guy who moved up to 98s. Very strong. The Drew says, now you want to be completely honest about what, Drew? Oh, about where I am in the rankings, maybe you mean? I mean, I'm being honest. I'm being honest. You gotta believe me. You gotta believe me. Um, yeah, guys, 76s. A lot of guys coming up. Darren Guidi, left arm, very good. I could see him causing some troubles in the 76 class. But for the most part, Kelly, Jason, Lee, my top 3 in this, they're kind of a little bit above everyone else, I think. 154. This is a very fun class for me. Obviously, you guys know I'm partial to Zach, and he's in here. They have Dustin Leach ranked at number 1. I think right now Dustin is undisputedly number 1. and until beaten and proven otherwise, he sits along that spot. Him and Kelly are number one for a reason. They train hard. They always show up. They beat people that you never think they're going to beat. Bodan, number two. John Griffith, number three. I'd actually think that John Griffith would beat Bodan right now. But my number two in this is Zach. John Griffith poses a lot of troubles for Zach, the way he sets up and everything. But I do think that Zach is number two. I could see Paul Andrews or John Griffith being number three. I know Paul will, if I see him, he'll claim, I should be above Zach. And, I see his argument there, but I think Zach's on a different level than when they last pulled. Brian Marginet at five, I could see. After that, it gets skewered again. It's hard to say. Left arm, Brian Marginet one, John Griffith two, Paul Andrews three. Zach's not on this list, but he should be. His left is also crazy. I think John Griffith gets him on the left. I think Zach and Brian Marginet is a really fun match on the left. You know what? I actually even think Zach and Brian Marginet could be a fun match on the right arm, but Zach poses a lot of problems for Brian. But Brian wins the matches that he shouldn't win. And it's just like, okay, like that's interesting. Yeah. Dustin one, Zach two for me. John Griffith, Paul Andrews, 3-4. I don't think I'm missing anyone here, but there's a lot of guys who are up and coming who can do really well on this list. Grandmasters. I'm just going to kind of quickly go over these. They got Len at 1, Dale at 2, Sheldon Short at 3, Dave Taylor 4, Brad Prince 5, my dad at 6. I think my dad should be a little bit higher than that. This is a good example of skewered rankings, I think, actually, guys. Now, my dad is lost to Brad Prince in Lethbridge, so they put Brad above my dad. Fair, yes, but I don't think Brad beats my dad in a super match. And then here we have Brad Hunker ranked under my dad because my dad beat Brad Hunker. But Brad Hunker probably beats Brad Prinz as well. So it shows the discrepancies. I just think it should be fixed. I don't know. I gotta bring it up and talk to him about it. I'm just a little guy with not much say, I guess. So Grandmasters 198s, Fraser Benoit number 1, Lee Sates number 2. I have no problems with that. Brad Prinz 3 on the left, Dale Kodak 3 on the right. I think for the most part that's pretty fair. I don't think Dale's making 198 anytime soon, but yeah. Grandmasters, Paul Andrews, Brian Marginet, top 2. Completely agree with that. Josh Bellin ranked 1 in the Masters, Corey Buka 2, Darren Matthews 3. Yeah, again, no arguments there. 98 Masters, Scott 1, Brad Prinz 2, Corey McAllister 3. Don't see any issues with that either. I mean, for the Masters, for the most part, are somewhat okay. There's a few discrepancies, but usually with kind of smaller classes, you can figure it out. Women's overall, we have Christine Flicka at 1. I think that's fair. We have Maria Peterson at 2 on the right and Leah Cornelson at 3. I don't know, guys. I arm wrestled Leah yesterday. So I went to Edmonton practice yesterday and Red Deer today. My arms are cooked. But anyways, Leah felt really strong. I'd like to see Leah and Maria pull. I think that's a fun match, right arm. And then left arm, we have Christine Flicka at 1 and Amber Drouse at 2. Amber just beat Maria and defended herself in a close match. I think Christine would be the favorite, but I would like to see her and her and Amber pull. I think that would be really fun. And then Maria Peterson at 3 and Leia at 4. You know what? Let Leia and Maria pull both arms, I think. I think that'd be good for both of them. I think that's really fun. Then Laura Park, not entirely sure who she is. And Hannah from Edmonton. Those are both good as well. I think that list is okay. Then we have overall top 10. I think it should go to top 20, to be honest. But they have Matt Mask ranked at 1. Obviously, that's true. But I don't think Matt really wants to be on these rankings. I think we all know he's number 1. But nonetheless, That's fair. Josh Bellin at number two, which I agree with. I'll do right arm first, sorry guys. Then we have Len Houghton at three. I think Sean gets him now. Sean at three is what I would do. Len at four. But we have Mason at six, and we've seen Mason beat Len before. Do I think Mason beats Len in a super match? I don't think so, especially right now. But I think overall top 10, I'll just name the top 10 and I'll kind of say what I think's different. So we have Matt, Josh Bellin, Len Houghton, Sean Crowther, Eugene, Mason, Dustin, Joe, Victor, and Kelly. I think Victor should be higher on that list. Um, Kelly, I think Kelly at 10's okay. Mm, I feel like we're missing. I feel like, well, who are we missing? Let me think. Honestly, I think we need a few more supers on there. Like, I think Caleb could be on there. Like, I think Caleb would be. I would think Caleb would beat Kelly just because of size. I would think Caleb would beat Mason. I would think Caleb would beat Eugene. You know what I mean? But just because of inactivity, I guess. Um, But really, guys, I think with the overalls, everyone's gunning for the number two spot at this point. Um, Left arm, Dustin Houghton at two. I agree with Greg Deneen at three. I, Sean's not on this list, and he should be. I would like to see. I think Sean and Greg left arm would be fun as well. Caleb's four, Eugene's five, Mason six, Ali seven, Victor eight, Connor McKenzie nine, and Sergey 10. Um, Connor might just be on there because he beat Sergey, possibly. But I mean, Sean's left isn't on there. It definitely should be. I don't see Darren Matthews. If he shows up, his left should be on there. Um, yeah, a few left arms missing too. I mean, overalls is more something you actually have to kind of take a deep dive into. But again, there's kind of my 30-minute little ranking talk. Yeah, I got some content coming, guys. I got some shorts. I actually caught a really cool moment today. Matt was training one of the newer guys and just kind of teaching them some basic stuff. And it's a side of Matt that not everybody gets to see, which I enjoy. Usually Matt's pulling just to kind of, hold. He'll teach a thing here and there, or you see him at the table freaking out. I really thought it was cool that you see him talking, he's explaining things. You get to kind of see how his mind would think on something. I really liked it. Got some film of me arm wrestling too, just with one of the newer guys, left arm, trying to teach where I can as well. I got a lot of clips in Edmonton yesterday of just people arm wrestling. I just, I want this channel to kind of be an arm wrestling hub where you can come in, you can learn something, you can watch some people arm wrestle, you can figure out some techniques, you can gather kind of everything you need. The podcast is more me talking in depth, just yapping. Here, I pick a topic, I talk on it, I go in depth. Today was the rankings. I'll probably do some breakdowns, some predictions of Lethbridge soon, a little more in depth. I want to talk about the East versus West coming up. I want to talk about Travis Robertson's event coming up. There's so much coming up. I've now that I have a match again, I get so determined. I know I should always be super determined, and I feel like I'm 90% determined. Even you could say 90 to 100% determined most of the time. But when a match gets announced, I up it another level. You know, Monday really pumped out an arm workout, felt sore. Didn't stop it there. Went to Edmonton Club, arm wrestled. They tried to stay on a table for pretty much 2 hours straight. Felt sore the whole way home. Hands are sore. And then today went down to Red Deer. Did some articulate stuff with Matt Mask. And then I jumped on the table with a bunch of guys and pulled and just burnt my arms out. It was great to see. And, you know, I I hate losing more than anything. So I always try to come in my match as prepared as I can. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling strong. I'm gonna recover. I'm gonna heal. I really appreciate all three of you watching me. I'm surprised at this hour, like midnight, I can even get three people. I'm so grateful. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, tell a friend. I'm on just hit 260 subs, which baffling to me. Through the fingers is going like crazy, but it's just baffling to me that I can sit here and talk and have you guys watching me, and I hope you guys enjoy. Means a lot to me. But yeah, these lives are great. It gets the watch time on the channel up, gives me kind of talk, just blabber on about certain topics I want to cover. This is where I talk about the matches, the predictions, the kind of fun stuff. I get to see you guys comment, I get to interact. It's great for me. Then when I just have a lesson I want to teach, that's when I flip the phone on and I talk and I kind of, sit there, think on it, make it more in depth, make it more precise, so you guys aren't watching me kind of sometimes. But yeah, if you're watching this afterwards too, feel free to comment something you want to see me cover live, something you want to hear me talk about, some anything really. I'm down. Whatever you comment, I'll try and cover. I know I've had a guy commenting on how to beat bigger people in arm wrestling. I made a video on it. He didn't seem completely satisfied. So I think I might even go live one night and talk about it, but I just want to cover all bases of what you want to do when you're arm wrestling somebody bigger than you. And yeah, I'm just gonna keep pumping out the ideas, and we're gonna build this together, guys. It's gonna be great. I can see great things coming, and I'm excited to have you guys here. So again, thank you guys. That's kind of it for tonight. I'm gonna go to bed, but hope you guys enjoy the rankings. And like I said, tell a friend, get them to sub. Let's get me to 500, and then we're just steamrolling from there. All right, guys. Have a good night.